Okay, guys, so here we are on our next episode of A Day in Miami. This one, I have to say, is a little bit personal.
Yep.
Because, with my host permission, this is a... Go ahead, what was it?
I never thought that I would see this in my life. So this is very interesting for me.
What do you see? What do you see? What I'm about to say?
I am seeing a dance dad right now bringing
But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. So this was a personal for me because we're going to interview now a spectacular dance company, a spectacular dance group, and a spectacular dance business. I never knew about dance until I'm here joined with my beautiful daughter, Munoz. So basically, these people for me are known as an initial. This is LDDF, better known as
the Living Doll Dance Factory.
Yeah, there you go. So, our purpose of this podcast today is because I want everybody to understand that I never freaking understood anything about this, but the world of dance is crazy. Not only crazy, competitive, competition, accelerating. There's so many adjectives that you can use into this. And I was brought into this world because of this beauty that I have here. And to tell you the truth, it's been one of my funnest experience. And this is what I want to go ahead and get down to. But there's a lot of stuff behind this group of LDDF. Yeah. And where the LDDF founders came from in the background that I think that all viewers are going to be fascinated with. So, Edward, what's our first question for LDDF, my little host?
All right, so I think I'm going to lean into it softly. I have a daughter myself. She's 18. She tried dance. Maybe wasn't the best at it. But she ended up doing good in art.
Yeah.
But I know that
it's shout out to Vicky
100%
because she's going now to college.
SCAD.
She's going to
SCAD
SCAD
Savannah
with a full ride scholarship.
Congratulations!
Thank you. But nonetheless, it was always fun for me to go and hang out there. And I'm a big proponent of keeping your kids busy. So I think I want to start off with, what's the importance of keeping kids busy, enrolling your daughter or son into a dance studio or any type of extracurricular activity? You guys being teachers, coaches, etc., mentoring them. What do you see the difference is between a kid that maybe comes in and is a part of your organization and maybe is not?
Yeah, so I think it's important when you're young, even growing up in the teenagers, it teaches you discipline, responsibility, accountability. It teaches you to be on time. It teaches you to remember things. It just gives you like a discipline that I want to say kids that maybe are in extracurricular activities just kind of don't really pay attention to versus having that teacher on you constantly like, where are you? Did you bring this? Is your hair up? Did you bring your uniform? It's more than just dance. It's not just about dancing around. It's about the disciplines that you learn for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I always say we're not really in the business of teaching dance. We're in the business of raising children.
100%.
And we use dance as our platform because it's exciting, it's fun, and it's something that does not work for them. And they love to come and create and let loose, and it's a good form of a release for them. But us, as their dance family, they spend so much time at the studio.
I can attest.
Yeah, more time at the studio sometimes than at home.
No, what do you mean? 100% more time in the studio than at home.
Yeah.
Please. So, on that note, tell us about how, why, and when LDDF.
Okay, so Martika's behind the scenes. She didn't want to be on the
Martika's
side.
behind there for the ones that don't.
Shout out to Martika.
Martika and I met on the Heat. We were Miami Heat dancers, both of us.
We're going to get into that one too. We're going to get into the Heat thing.
Yeah, we are Heat sisters, alumni. So,
wait.
Yeah,
because this is how this goes.
Okay.
So, you met a Heat, so you guys were Heat dancer. When was that? Like, more or less, not to just,
Yeah, you don't want to know my age.
No, but were we champions? Were we good?
It was right before their first, first championship? Yeah.
Okay.
So Martika was already on the team. It was my first year. I didn't know anybody. I walked in with a Betty Boop bag, and that's her favorite Disney character. So automatically she was like, "You're my best friend. Come, I'll show you the ropes." So she took me under her wing. We became best friends, like up and down. That was it. We went on to do our lives. Martika and I both toured. We were dancers after that.
Okay.
Toured, like we moved away. We danced. We did that whole thing. Then we come back. Martika's a school teacher. She's the director at her high school of dance. I was into real estate. The market crashed. I was out of work, so I said, Martika, you want to open? Let's do it now. Let's open our dance studio that we've always wanted to do. But every time we tried to do it, she got pregnant or life happened. Lucas and Danny, it's all your fault. No, she was finally in a place that she was ready. So we took the leap and we're like, okay, fine. We'll just open the spot and see what happens. Like they say in the Field of Dreams, build it and they will come.
They will come. But wait, go on that one.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I wanted, number one, when I was young growing up, and I guess even right now still, dating like a heat dancer was like big time. You know, like, hey, you're dating a heat, and I had a couple friends that dated some heat dancers.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, but we used to use that a lot at the clubs. Where like we would walk up to the front, and the line was around the corner, and we were like,
you see them.
"We're heat dancers,"
Yeah.
and they were
It's
like,
like a badge of
"Oh,
honor,
open."
you know?
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of the staff is heat dancers. Are heat dancers. So if
Currently
you're looking, check out our staff.
That's
You haven't noticed that yet.
at all.
At all.
Check out our staff.
Manny has blinders on.
I want you to take me behind the scenes on so people
Yeah.
can understand the difficulty and the determination it takes to become a heat dancer.
Oh, okay. Well, back when we were dancing, I always told Martika, and not to be conceited, but it was kind of easy for us. It was
Yeah.
just like, oh, we went, we tried out, we made it. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was, of course, you have to take your job seriously. You have to stay in shape. You
Correct.
gotta, it was your role model for a lot of people.
Correct.
So as an 18, 19-year-old dancer, there's a lot of things that we need to learn, etiquette and, now you're not a teenager anymore. You have to act like a woman.
Yeah.
So they really did help us, develop and
It's like a club, like
it
a
is.
society.
They put us. They put you through. I remember we went to a retreat, Tika, and it was like, well, what is this? You have to learn how to eat. I felt like Pretty Woman with the forks and how to shake hands, and you can't chew gum, and speak everything. It was.
You know what? To put a point that's the Dallas Cowboys thing. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleader program.
Yes.
That thing is awesome in
That's
the sense of how
amazing.
a club you have to. I mean, it's like. To become a
A
Dallas
certain
Cowboy
look, a certain-
cheerleader, it's like this, like a badge of honor, like
Yeah.
you just said.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, we met Sahara at one of the clinics. Martika went back to choreograph for them, and she was just taking a clinic, and Martika saw Sahara, fell in love with her, and she must have been like 16, 17, it was just a baby. And she came back, and she goes, Janet, I just met the most fabulous human, and I got her number, and she's going to come teach for us.
Oh,
So
wow.
she taught our first year that we opened LDDF 15 years ago.
Right.
Moved on, became, Saberettes, the
Well, we're
national
gonna get into that.
champion.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get
yeah.
that. We're gonna get
But
into
now
that.
we're back together. But that's how it started, in the heat.
Wow, it's a full
Yeah,
circle.
yeah.
So then basically you guys, it was because of the heat.
Absolutely.
So, not.
Do you
go
guys
ahead.
still keep in contact with
Yeah,
them?
we
You
do
still
alumni. Yeah, we
Nice.
were judging their auditions this year, and we had two of the heat dancers that made it this year are on our staff as well.
I suppose right now it's even harder to make the team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's much more competition.
Much more
And I
competition.
hear they even have like body fat percentages in the under. Like they treat them supposedly they treat them like the players.
Their boot camp is crazy.
Yeah.
I was
Treat them like
watching
players.
it, and I almost passed out.
It's better that than Ozempic, probably. Ozempic is better, maybe.
No, but do they? How much does the heat dancer get? They don't get paid much, though. No?
They do now.
Oh, they do now?
They
Good.
get paid now.
It's like a career now.
Back in the day, it was like, just go dance for
No,
free.
the whole profit was you're a heat dancer.
Yeah,
Get in the club.
that was it, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I know a question that him and I talked about, but which is, so truly, how many heat dancers really like hook up with players?
No, stop it.
Oh, I'm dying to know that question too. I want to
I
know.
have heard that there's supposed to be parameters in place to prevent
There's
that.
a lot of
I don't know about
parameters.
them, but I know about
Do
now.
those parameters really work?
The parameters break down.
Well,
Say the truth, because I want to know.
No, they are very good with. Well, when we dance, when Martika and I were dancing, the guest team,
Yeah.
their locker room was literally
Side by side.
like if you mess up, you go into.
Okay,
our
did you
locker
ever
room.
go in?
No,
What?
I was terrified.
No way.
No, terrified.
I feel like that was done.
Okay, how many?
I feel like that was done by the
But-
heat organization on purpose.
But
to, like,
they did have very strict rules. We were not allowed to talk to the players. The players weren't allowed to talk to us. We weren't allowed to fraternize. I mean, did it happen?
Probably.
You're out in the club, or you're dancing.
Not that you saw
The heat
anything, but you
No,
assume.
the players are there.
Guess
The
we're
heat
keeping
dancers
it
are there.
professional.
Yeah.
Now,
Let's
was
just
it?
keep it that we assume.
I don't know.
something
Maybe.
happened.
Was it the
Assume.
same rules for the coaches?
Wow.
I don't want to talk about that.
I mean, they
Why?
got
Do you know
married.
something I don't know?
They got married.
Yes.
So when
I
they,
want to know.
Spo and Nikki, she was a heat dancer.
I love Spo, and I love what Nikki does from afar.
I
you know?
mean, but Nikki's
Spo's
gorgeous.
Spo,
How could you not fall in love with her?
Oh, I
And she's just an angel, so,
She is.
you know.
But it's,
what happens.
it's crazy.
happens.
But it's crazy.
When you work
But that's how
together.
you work. That's how
I
you
know.
work
Yeah.
together, you know, in companies.
Listen,
you
when
know,
love
I mean,
is going to find you, it
it
finds you.
happens. It
Yeah,
happens.
pero the way at the end, how it like kind of like happened at the end, it was so funny because it's like it happened and then 10 days later, you know, he gets like a, I don't know, multi-million-dollar contract.
She
you know,
helped.
all of a sudden,
Why not?
Why
I
do
mean,
you
she
know
was-
more about this than
she
me?
was- He's an
It's the day in
advocate
Miami,
Heat.
man. It's the day in Miami.
He's an advocate Heat follower.
No, but I have a lot of respect for them both.
Yeah.
But it's just fun to get dynamic out of nowhere. They were just, you know, got together.
Well, but listen, at least one of those dynamics is the fact of how what I like about this is the story behind this, and the fact of how Martika and Janet started in the Heat, and then they decided, okay, this is going to be a career they want to pursue.
Yeah.
And the sense of that career, they made it into, you know, a let's not say an empire, but it's a small empire for
It
you
is.
guys.
It really is.
And really, at least in a personal level, what I have seen in the fact, at least with Milana Sof, is that, you know, Milana's schedule is crazy. Like I tell her, you know, I wake up in the morning, I give her breakfast at 6:30, and I give her dinner at 9:30 at night. That's the times I see Milana Sophie, you know, at 6:30 and 9:30. But I always tell her, I can get upset sometimes because I say, what the hell is this? I mean, you know, I can't, you know, I want to leave on the weekend. We want to go here. We're going to go there. But then I step back and I realize her commitment, and I praise her for it. She knows it. That, you know, I always tell her, you know, your commitment for me is a
it's
huge praise.
important, yeah.
And what you guys have created has been really this nucleus for girls, and I never really understood it until I got involved in it. And then when you get involved in it and see how everything happens with the dance world and this, you get into the competition. You
get competitive.
No, not that I get competitive. My wife gets competitive.
You should see him in the audience. Okay.
But I do dress the part. Now, the thing is that why I say competitive is that, you know, so there's dance wars. We can say, more or less per se, we can call it. You know, and the fact of people in the groups, and then other things happen, what people want to go and other elsewhere. So I experienced that for the first time in this year with this group. And what I loved about it is how they prevailed. You know what I'm saying? And when a lot of people thought, you know, like, oh, well, this is going to end here because of that. You know, I was always a strong supporter, and I always said nothing's going to happen because if you're loyal and you like the fact of where your kids are, you're going to stay there. Yeah, because
do kids, like, is it like teams where kids jump around from studio to studio if they're not happy?
So it's
Or
rare,
do
but
they
it
pluck
happens.
your talent away
In
or they try to pluck
Miami?
your talent away?
In Miami, it's very common.
Yeah.
In Miami, I want to say there's like a studio in every corner.
But how about
So-
recruiting wise, like active recruiting, like, hey, we know you're good, we want you to come here.
I mean, I think that people do it. I think it's frowned upon, but people do it. Like, we're Miami. That's anything is possible in Miami. But in Miami, like, if you're not comfortable today in your studio, you just go to the next studio tomorrow because it's probably like 2
well,
blocks
it's
away
not only
anyway.
that, it's also the parents, by the way.
Yeah, and
you know,
there's a
a lot
huge
of the
factor.
parents involved in the sense of like, well,
And what dance moms are now in comparison to what they used to be when I was dancing.
could we get into that?
Yeah.
I never knew when I would watch that crazy woman on what is it? TLC?
Hey, Abby Lee.
I thought she was nuts.
Hey, she'll come in here. Be careful.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
She'll come in here.
I got Barbie.
Abby Lee, you're invited.
I got Barbie, but at the end of the day, when I would see that program, and Milano was nowhere near in the fact of getting into dance, and she loved that show. I go, who in their right mind?
Abby Lee doesn't play.
No, but when I would see that, I see these women fighting my daughter, and then I go,
Yeah.
that's never gonna happen. What is that? Even though I think that's a little bit more of.
But I mean, it does happen in some studios.
It does. It's common.
It really
It's the
does.
dance world,
But
but-
it
To that level.
I don't think it's ever happened to
no. Well, Martika and I are very, very, like, when we started, we said that for sure.
Yeah.
The competition amongst the girls is unacceptable. It needs to be healthy. It needs to be healthy.
Teams,
Yes.
teams.
You know, we're all human.
Yeah.
You know, we get that jealous feeling.
competitive
You know, you
side.
want that spot, but at the end of the day, it's 100% first is bonding, support each other. You're for each other because one day you're gonna have that spot and you're gonna look over and you don't want to see all your family that love you angry and pissed off. You want them happy.
Yeah.
You know, so we built that first and we said it. You want to compete? You act crazy like that? It's gone. So
Have you had situations like that?
no, we've never, and when we do have one that's like crazy like that starts to, it's like the cancer, Martika and I say, this is not for you. There's other studios where I think you'll fit in better.
And that happens often. If you let one of those
Yeah.
people come in and
No.
destroy the whole culture.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's a studio in Miami for everybody.
Yeah.
Depends on the dancer you want to be, what your goals are. Depending on what you're looking for, there's a studio that fits everybody.
So that question, like, what makes LDDF different than the majority of the studios? Like, if I'm somebody who I'm looking for my daughter, I want to
Absolutely.
put her into a studio, and I'm kind of like, Falk doesn't know much, and just,
Milana can answer.
recruiting and stuff, and looking around.
Go, Milana.
Why should I send my daughter to LDDF?
Okay, I just
Go ahead, love. You get the mic.
I think that we kind of like already said that, but LDDF is like super family oriented and like it's actually like a second home. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna go dance and like that's it. Like I hate everybody there. Like I want to be better than everybody. Like it's not like that. Like you go there and like you're so excited to see all your friends and you're like they said, like your friend gets a part and you're gonna be like, yay, and then when you get a part, your friend's gonna be like, yay. Like it's super just like it's just a happy environment.
So the camaraderie is there.
And that's like something that you don't get a lot in dance because it's very competitive.
Yep.
Like it's super competitive. Like, but when you're at LDDF, it's not competitive at all. Like it's super family oriented. Like those girls are my best friends. Like and like the teachers too. Like they're like the best people in the world. Like that's the difference. Yeah.
And also the families. I want to piggyback on
Yeah,
that.
100%.
So, you hear those horror stories about dance moms mostly, and every once in a while there's a crazy dad. But
Not him.
and not Manny.
No, not Manny.
Not Manny. But
Manny just buy the studio.
I
Just say,
you're
fired, right? You're gonna go.
I want to say that we're really lucky. Our parents, I think, get along just as well, like hang out the weekends as the kids do, and it's a joke, and I'll take the joke, and we take Martika and I laugh all the time. They love to poke at us and say we're the country club of dance studios, and I'm like, I'll take that, absolutely, yes.
But
100%.
does your price reflect the country club, or
It does.
is it like affordable? Or?
No, it does, and it's not because of what we're offering that I have to put our prices. It's our location. We're in Coral Gables. Like
Got you.
our rent is 3-4 times what any other dance studio that's way out there in warehouses are paying.
West Canada warehouse.
Yeah.
The location is very, very,
Right.
very important, especially for everybody that lives around the area.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we chose that area because that's the niche we want to be in. So it's to sustain our, what it is.
The operation, of
Yeah,
course.
exactly.
Yeah, I know how it is.
So I wanted to emphasize on something, not only, dance, because now Milana's also in dance in school. So, and that's a big thing. And I wanted Sahara to elaborate a little bit because Sahara, she's in school. You do the St. Brendan's,
Yes.
correct? I want everybody to get a little bit of back in that, and the fact of how did that come about? You started there. And as that I know, I'm not the biggest, research guy, but I understand you took them from one point to a higher point. No, the school. So yeah. You can elaborate a little bit on that.
I started at St. Brendan when I was 21 years old, and I'll be completely honest, I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay.
And I wasn't just the dance coach, I was also a teacher there. So I taught Dance 1, Dance 2, and Dance 3 honors. So I was juggling dance studio life, being a teacher, lesson plans, and then dance team on the side. And
Right.
sorry.
No.
And I've started dancing when I was 3 years old. I'm very competitive in the dance world, and I love dance. And dance was always something I was going to do for the rest of my life. So when I took on the job as being the head coach for the Sabrettes, I said it's either all or nothing. I give it my all, and I could take it to as far as I can go, or I was just going to do balance all three and, juggle and not be very consistent. So I went head first, and I gave it my all, and I slowly but surely started building the program. And we're not a magnet school, so like Milana's school, we still compete against magnet programs.
Right.
So if you want to be great, you're still gonna go and compete against magnet schools that practice probably like 4 or 5 hours more a week than you do, because at private
More?
school, yeah,
Damn.
because at private schools you don't get that extra elective where you get to practice. So a lot of magnet schools get to practice in school and then after school. So we're just after school, and then if we want to compete at that level, we have to do our weekends. That's why our weekends are booked. Because if we want to compete at that level, you gotta train for it. Yeah.
She's being super humble because St. Brendan's, I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, we're not even like a dance.
Yeah, they
like,
weren't.
if
They've
go
come
to
a long
St.
way.
Brendan's to be a dancer, they're not even on the map. Who's St. Brendan's dancing? And Sahara,
Yeah.
first time, What did you?
Yeah, so there's a really big competition that we go to for dance team. It's called UDA.
It's huge. It's everything.
Yeah, it's like
See?
it's like
It's
the
another
Olympics.
world.
It's like Olympics for dance.
There you go.
At the ESPN
Like a
Center?
World Series
the
more
Super
than?
Bowl. It's
Okay,
like the
there you
Super
go.
Bowl.
It's like the
Okay.
Super Bowl for dance. So you guys can get it.
My niece does dance
Okay.
up in North Carolina.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I've been to the ESPN Center and they have the facility. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
days of dancing and hours
It's the
and hours
best thing
of
in the
dancing.
world.
Yeah.
It's
My
very
birth-
different.
I did a week.
I know.
I did
remember.
a week in Orlando, my
Yeah,
birthday.
It was the funnest time in the world.
Okay,
But it's very different from studio. Like studio world and dancing world are very
That's
different.
that's exactly what I was going to ask you right now. I had that question. here.
Completely
What is
different.
the difference between studio dance and school dancing?
So I want to say that dance team originated like military style dancing with like commands and they call out commands and a high kick. So there's even a category for military, high kick, palm. So all these things originated, and then they started opening different categories like jazz and hip hop. And dance team is very structured in the sense that they look for turns, they look for certain technique versus studio world. It has more artistry.
Gotcha.
So you could be more open with your art versus dancing looks for one thing. Although it has a mixture of both,
Yeah.
and it's evolving. I think it has a strong fundamental of what it used to be. Like it was something before versus dance studio worlds. It's subjective. It's your opinion, what you think is art. Versus dance team kind of has like a criteria is exactly what the judges are looking for.
Are there any like dancers or coaches or teachers that you look up to? Like at least when you were growing up, you're like, wow, man, like they do a really good job, or I look up to that person.
Well, my dance teacher, I went to South Miami Middle School for magnet dance, and my dance teacher in middle school became my mentor in life, Jessica Valdez Vega. Shout out to her. She is like my mentor in everything. She's how I put shows together, how I teach children, how I discipline children, how I guide children. It's because of her. So my middle school teacher had this impact on me.
Is she has her own studio now, or
No, she's just a mom, and I'm not sure if she's teaching. She became like a magnet lead, but I love her, and she's amazing.
cool? That's amazing.
So she was a huge influence on me. What have I
But
said?
say
Got
it,
the
say more.
Sabrettes, the first time national champions
Oh,
ever in history.
Okay.
Sabrettes who? Sahara was like drop dead.
Oh, okay. So we went to UDA. I was very young. I went to UDA my first year. I'll be honest. I had no idea what UDA is. This is year 4 going to UDA.
Yeah. I think it was a photographic studio
Drinking
once. I don't
tequila
know.
at the back, just hanging out. You know, hey, just
I-
whatever you need to do.
No, she doesn't like tequila.
No, I don't like to. But I went for the first year just to say because if I ever wanted to compete at that level, you have to attend it because
of
that was
course.
the highest level any dance team could ever compete at. So it's either you kind of go throw with the wolves and then I'll learn from there. I just wanted to experience it, and I won my first year. I don't know how it was a COVID year. I think that's why.
So this was
No,
St.
because
Brendan's
she's
first-
good, that's
this was
why.
St. Brendan's
She's
first
that
year that
good.
they ever went, and they won a championship.
Yeah, they won the first year ever going to UDA.
Wow.
They won, and then I won the second year, and we won again. I don't know how either.
No
I
way.
don't know how either.
What year was this?
I don't. It was 4 years ago, and then last year, the year before that, then my JV won, and the last year we didn't win anything. We got 4th for varsity, but I'm still grateful because 4th in the nation at UDA is like
What the hell?
Not
Of
okay.
course.
Did you see like an uptick in like people wanting to sign up to dance after you guys won?
No,
championship?
UDA is always amazing. You go to UDA, and it's like the Olympics for dance.
No, I'm saying like in your school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people now come to St. Brendan for dance.
Now they come to dance. Yeah. So
But there you go.
That was my
but
point.
that's the
amazing.
fact of all this. You
That's
have
amazing.
people wanting to go to a school. It's like football, like basketball.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
many kids don't want to go to maybe to Columbus for basketball?
Correct, yeah.
The other ones want to go to Belém for this or the other one. But all these girls wanted to go
'Cause you got your
to
best
St.
chance to
Brendan's.
win.
Yeah, that first year, I didn't even know what it. I didn't even know what it was like to win, and
Pressure.
and you could. I entered like a jazz and a hip hop, and I didn't know anything about penalties, about deductions. So usually, I want you guys to know that UDA is so competitive. When you go to semifinals, sometimes the routine in the team will change the routine for finals, based off of
Wow.
the critique. So like. I got a critique like, oh, my skirts were too long. So at 3 a.m, the moms were cutting and sewing skirts for me because you have to apply the corrections for finals. It's very intense.
No, you're disqualified if not. No.
No, you're not disqualified,
lose
but
points.
you got
You lose points, yeah.
semifinals.
Yeah.
You got critiques,
Yeah.
so now
Yeah.
just do better for finals. And I was so excited for the hip hop, and I started adding tricks to it. And it was my first year. I had no idea that if I added those tricks, those were only college level tricks, and I was gonna get a deduction. So if I would have actually won my first year 2 white jackets, but I added so many tricks without knowing and without reading the rule book that I got like 4 points off. If not, I would have been a white jacket champion. And I look back and now I'm like, oh my god, if I would have just read the rules.
I know.
But I was so excited, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just wanted
The
to go for
first
fun.
thing that teacher of yours would have taught you,
Yeah.
read the
No,
instructions.
she did. I was just too excited. But that's like another world. That's like another life. But it's amazing.
Well, and then now we have her also as, part director.
Yes.
All the titles you want. I don't know the titles, but whatever.
Director. She's a
director of LDDF.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know from my personal experience how excited my daughter and all the girls are that when Sahara was announced to be part of the team, they saw another opportunity for at least her, that she's very competitive.
You just recently won first place.
Yeah. No, that was my birthday gift.
Yeah, I know.
My birthday gift for my birthday was she
nationals.
won. Yes. So it basically, I know that for her, she likes to always step it up. So for her, this is another, competition, and another, step to get better where she's at now.
I promise your dad did not reach out to the judge before you went on stage.
No. I didn't know them. But
I know everybody.
But at the end of the day, the fascinating world about dance is that, I never, like I told you from the beginning, and that's one of the reasons when I told Dad, I go, hey, we're going to have the people from LDDF, and he goes, he did some research. He goes, I never knew that there was so.
It's like wars.
It's like
So we have found out through this podcast that there's croqueta wars.
No, that's another one. You don't understand.
Empanada wars.
There's
barbecue
there's
wars.
bakery
Can I be the
wars.
tester for all the croquetas?
Listen,
Croqueta taste?
if we bring you the croqueta tasting, and I know
Who won? Isla Canaria?
Yeah.
You see, but no.
Isla Canaria with limon is the best
Well,
croqueta
but that's the
ever.
whole thing,
Jonathan-
Shout out.
Jonathan Ali.
He's a client of ours, so he's happy right now with that.
people.
He's good people. But at the same time, it's funny because we did that whole thing with the wars, and he's going, what is that? I go, listen, it's a total different world out there with a dance company.
So I'm going to tell you this then. Knowing that there's wars out there, and you guys have positioned yourself and
As warriors, leaders.
as a industry leader in your field, do you have like a top 3 honorable mentions? People, not yourself, other studios that you say, you know what? From afar, I think they're doing a good job too.
I have a favorite, Dance Town. I adore.
Oh, wow.
I adore the owners. I adore everything they do. I think they're fabulous. So to me, we look up to them. Martika and I. Manny used to teach us dance.
No way.
And so, yeah, and then and his wife Lori, with the two owners, danced with us on the heat as well. So,
But you see, that's great. We like to ask those questions
Yeah.
because people always think it's just, no, it's, everybody can always say, I like those people
Yeah.
too. Gives you a chance to say, I want to be as good or as better
Right.
with what they taught you.
No, and I think like in Miami, there's that like number one entrepreneurial spirit
Right.
that like lives in like Hispanics and most people, and then there's also I think when you see someone across the aisle that could be to a degree your competitor at that day,
Right.
at your competitions,
Right.
There's also a level of respect because you're like,
Absolutely.
I know how difficult it is to do that. I know what you need to do to get through that. I know how between bringing on kids,
Yeah.
getting the perfect trainers, setting up routines, it's complicated. you know?
It is.
So it's kind of like, you
Yeah.
appreciate the work that goes into the craft.
Mutual respect.
Mutual respect. That's
But the day of competition, I don't want to see
Yeah. Yeah. And
No, sometimes you actually watch one of the routines and you leave inspired, and it's great.
No, listen, I tell you, I sit there and I watch those. For me, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, you sit there. I mean, I'm going to have to take Eddie once.
Yeah. I just went through an 18-year-old, 18 years, but I'm down to go again,
You're like over it.
Nah, I enjoy it. I think anything with kids has always been fun, It's always cool. It's always a good time with them.
it is. They keep
So
you young.
what's next? I mean, and I want people to understand this. So Milana leaves every day. She's in these in what we call intense.
Intensive.
Intense, and it's intense to the whole family, by the way. But it's not intense to her; it's intense to the whole goddamn family, by the way. But so everybody needs to like understand what these intenses are all about. When these people want to say, okay, I have people out there watching the podcast now, and have all these moms and dads say, hey, I want to reach out to LDDF. I want my kids. I like it. Maybe they were in the fence, or they're deciding. What is it? What's the message you guys can tell them? Hey, come check us out. See what we can do for your kids. Because people think, oh my daughter's not the best dancer.
Right. Well, they don't need to be. Again,
Something for everybody.
Yeah, and not only that. I mean, I can say with Milana. I remember the first time Milana came in to take a dance class. She was fashion show. That's what she knew. That was her dance background, fashion show. But you watch Milana dance, and there's something special in every child. You just need to be able to tune in, pull it out. You believe in them, they start to believe in themselves. When they believe in themselves, sky's the limit. You could do it all, and that's what we're here to provide. We're here to, teach them. If they were good dance, we don't want the superstar from another dance studio. Let's just be clear.
Okay.
We want the dancer that doesn't know how to dance, and we could take credit for.
That's good.
Because if not, we're not good at our job, right? So we take the beginners and we turn them into superstars.
Do you ever see like a kid and you're like, okay, this person has absolutely no chance?
Absolutely. They have 2 left feet, and those are the ones that make you great. Like those are the ones that you could say, and you could say, okay, I'm good at what I do.
Like, remember what they look like when they came
Exactly.
Wow.
We have
Listen,
to. We remember.
I remember when Mina looked when she started. I mean, you sit there, you know, the grandparents, everybody comes. My mother would leave. She goes, "Y Milana quiere hacer esto." You know what I'm saying?
Just believe in her, please.
It's like, you know, and it's like, and then all of a sudden, now you look at them and they see them like, "Ay, esa es mi nieta."
Yeah.
You know, so it's like this whole total
So it's a transformation.
You know, transformation.
And it's rewarding because the parents too. You see them at competition, like the dads, the tears in their
Oh,
eyes,
no, I agree.
and they're when they tell you after, like, "Thank you, I didn't even know she could do that."
I'm
And
a
I'm
crier
like,
now, so
yeah.
Is there like now? I mean, I'm getting away from the studio side. I'm interested in like the high school side. Another question for you: you're at a gala, you're at a party, at a wedding or something. Music turns on. Do you guys like feel like dancing?
Yes.
Is that like you want to get out of here or something?
I start
or-
the conga lines.
That's it. Okay, well, I mean, does everybody expect for you guys to get up and start
Are
dancing?
you like a show now? You know?
I'm the total opposite. I always tell my chica, I'm like, everybody's like, "Oh my God, you guys are dancers. Show us all your moves.
Correct.
Come on, let's." And I'm like, "Que pena."
But wait,
I'm like,
no, wait.
no.
You do as soon as I go and start giving out shots.
Well, that, with a little bit of
We're ready.
tequila.
I don't need a shot. I don't need a shot. I
We
will.
don't need alcohol.
This one doesn't need anything.
I'll dance battle anybody. I'm ready.
Yes, she would stand on this table right now and shake it for you.
No, she won't.
Yeah, she will.
Well, but we'll leave that for the last one. We'll leave that for the clothing.
You might have to move this over, but I will.
Wait,
You're gonna have to talk to the landlord.
Figure that one out. Listen, I wanted to bring up something up because I think it's very important. You know, in some of our background, okay, so we talked about the schools, we talked about DDF, we spoke about the heat dancers, but I know that you and Matika also did a whole bunch of like, you know, did you guys dance professionally, like for like any type of like, let's say any superstars, any people that we would know that people would say, I can't believe you dance for those people?
Yeah, Martika and I both danced. Well, we were backup dancers, so we did music videos, like locally. Gloria Stefan, we were in one of her older videos together. We
Is
did
it conga?
No,
I gotta see that.
it's
Pull that up.
I forgot the name of the song. Something.
Well-
Mi cuerpo quiere salsa.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got it.
And that's a music video?
Yeah.
I gotta see that one.
posting
Let
Mi
me
cuerpo quiere no, that. Ben?
Yeah,
Cuerpo quiere salsa.
Yeah. Martika and I both we toured with several artists. Deion Sanders when he tried singing.
Really?
Martika was one of his backup dancers. When Britney Spears was her
Britney?
very first tour, Baby One More Time. We were touring in fairs and carnivals. I think she was like 16. And then
That's cool.
Yeah, we moved
That's
away.
super cool. I mean, even though she's just got a little knockers
She's a
right now.
sweetheart. I love her. I love
know.
Britney. She's a sweetheart. She's misunderstood.
Yeah, I think at that level, when you get to that level 2, that level of pressure.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, but we need to like settle her down with her misunderstandings right now.
Manny.
No,
Have mercy in your
I got
heart.
it, but that knife needs to go away. You know what I'm
The
saying?
belly dancing was my favorite. Put a clip of that.
I love her. Stop, I love
She do all
her.
her belly shit without the knife.
I think the funniest.
I mean,
videos is,
come
like,
on.
Her like right there, like dead center with her camera.
But that's what I'm saying with the knife.
Blurry, you know, wearing some little.
Please.
I mean, but you know, I have a lot of respect for her.
Yes.
Growing up, she was everywhere when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of respect for her.
No, listen, we all love Britney.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, I was always a Britney fan more than Christina.
Yeah.
Even though Christina's a singer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, come on. Yeah, Christina.
I went to both of their concerts.
I got it, but
I
Christina,
never got a chance.
Christina can belt. Christina,
Right.
Right. Hands off to Christina.
Right.
You know, don't call me Christina, but at the end of the day, Christina can sing.
Yeah.
Christina can sing.
sing.
Christina can sing.
Martika and I even were backup dancers for Trina.
Oh,
That was the best, most entertaining time we ever had. We were like,
Oh my god.
we were like,
Bananas, you know Trina?
two white girls.
Okay, it's
I
okay.
just asked
I don't think you want to know Trina. I love Trina.
Oh, and Ludacris. That's right. And
Oh, Ludacris is great.
Yes.
No, no,
Pero Trina estaba con el otro tipo ese Trick Daddy.
Trick Daddy.
Yeah, Trick Daddy.
You see?
Yeah. How about you guys were not Uncle Luke type?
I wasn't, but I danced.
Due to the music, yes.
I don't know.
Right, come
Janet hesitated there about Uncle Luke for a second, so I don't know.
We've been trying to get him on too.
Ay, Dios mío.
That's old school.
Yeah, it's really old school.
Yeah, Martika's gonna call him. She has them on speed dial.
Gala, and we talked to him, and he goes, "Hey, I'm down."
I want to go to the podcast.
He goes and interviews Kamala Harris before us. So.
Yeah. God. All right. Anyway.
Martika was on SNL too. You'll find her one of those episodes with like all these stars. It was amazing. Yeah, we have. It's a lot. It's hard to remember, but
you see, but
we did that live for a while.
I think that's great
You
because
audition,
that whole background really can give. Think about it. For people that really have studios out there, do you really want to be in a studio with that? You want to be in a studio with this credibility of people that really, this is what you guys have known and really, done.
So for any professional that's in your industry, any dancer that just, finished her career in dancing and wants to get into opening her own studio, do you have advice that you would like to give them on what's the best way to move forward with something like that, and how should they, manage the studio?
Yeah, the studio's tricky. So, it's hard because you're an artist and you just want to create, and you forget that this is a business.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people just do everything for free.
Yeah.
And they just want to create and dance, and it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter if the cost doesn't cover and that's a huge part of a successful business.
100%.
What I tell dancers all the time is learn how to read a financial statement, learn how to be financially literate. If you go to college, if you don't want the degree, you don't need, it sounds terrible. Yes, go to college. But if it's not for you, because there's some artists are really not studious, and they don't, that environment, they hate going to school. I hear that a lot. And I'm like, okay, maybe you don't want to go and get the big masters or a doctor or whatever, but go and learn the fundamental basics of business and learn how to read a financial statement. If you're literate in finance, you can do anything. You can run anything. You can do anything you want with dance, because you'll know, okay, this is what I need to live. This is what I need to charge. This is the money that comes in. And don't discount yourself, because that
I feel like you're saying that from experience.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
I've been there with you too. So
well, no,
not saying anything.
I'm saying more because when I talk to other very beautiful dancers, humans that are so talented, and they did the dance studio and then they closed it. And I always wonder, she's so talented, and she's so much more talented than we ever were. How did she not make it? And it's because of that.
The business side.
It's because she didn't know how to run a business, or he didn't know how to run a business. So, it's all fun and games, glitz and glamour, but no, there's a very, very, complex, everything ties together.
Well, listen.
Do you know Adrenalina?
Adrenaline. Yeah, of course.
I know her very well.
Okay, good, amazing.
Adrenalina.
Because he's in Miami.
Pronounce Adrenalina.
Yeah, but where does Adrenalina work?
Yeah. No, that's a dance studio.
Oh, okay.
That's actually, who is?
I'm
I
sorry.
would have never
That
guessed
takes
he
me
was
back to
talking about
takes me
that.
back to time. Like, who the hell?
Never talking about adrenaline.
I decoded his Miami.
No, that was crazy. It's
That
just
was like-
adrenaline. He's like, adrenalina.
Yeah. But no,
That's-
and I'm thinking, what? Not studio. I wasn't even thinking. I was thinking.
You weren't even thinking of dance
No,
studio.
I was
We're like,
thinking about a pole. Because I'm like, what the hell is that? But anyway, of course, I'll come to from Eddie.
No, but no, that's JC's daughter. She's actually the one that runs that studio.
Okay.
And I went over there not too long ago because they were asking me for some help with something. And I see like the walls filled with trophies and trophies and trophies.
Yeah.
Oh, please
And I'm
come to
like-
my house.
And I'm like, is it that easy to get trophies in this industry?
No,
or not? Like,
it's not.
And I'm like, are they just handing trophies out like with the, participation trophies? And she told me, she goes, no. She goes like, it's the
What
it's
so, and in order, so we're gonna wrap this up because the Sahara and Matika and Janet, everybody have to go run a studio. My biggest question is, Sahara, where are we going this year? What are we expecting? What are you wishing for? What do you see LDDF?
As long as we grow and we make progress and we are always constantly achieving the next step and the next goal, as long as we never at a standstill and there's always growth happening, I'm happy, and I think LDDF is happy. And if we move in love and consistency, I think we're great.
It sounds like a very humble response.
Well, but wait. I'm gonna kill this one now. Am I gonna spend my birthday again?
You might.
In Orlando.
I'm not saying that we're not.
Possibly.
Are we
might.
gonna win?
Possibly
But we
not.
could do a party there. I'm all about the party.
They won this show. We did them anywhere in the pool.
I'm all
They
about
did them anywhere in
life.
the pool.
I'm all about like discipline, but playing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good balance.
Well, so before I leave, not because I want to be biased, but I want to hear from my daughter. And the fact is love. what has dance done for you, and how has dance changed your life?
So dance has changed my life in like so many ways. I can't imagine not doing dance ever. I hear of like so many people that are like, oh, it's too much for me. Like, I can't do it. Like, but for me, like, okay, for me, all of the stress and all of it, like, it just like makes me want it more. Like, literally in the summer when I was like in Europe, I was gone for 3 weeks. I was like, oh my gosh, I miss dancing so much. Like it's just like it's something.
Europe, la pobre.
Okay, whatever. It's just something.
Oh, we're gonna dance.
I like Europe too. I would never say I didn't. Okay,
Manny,
whatever.
you could take me to Europe.
If you take me, I'll give her privates in Europe on the beach.
Exactly.
Take me with you and you get privates the whole week.
Okay, whatever. It just means so much to me, and like dancing itself is so therapeutic in a way. Like, you know, when anything's going on, like you could just like feel it out when you're dancing, and that's something like that I really enjoy doing. Like whenever something's wrong, like when I like dance, I like feel like it's all gone, and I like leave like LDDF, and I'm so like any stress that I had, any test, like I never stress for tests because when I'm dancing, like I don't think about that. Like, you know what I mean? I just like disconnect.
I have a question though. How is it waking up in the morning and your father is Manny Alfonso with the music on, with everything rolling, with the phone calls in the hallways?
I'm not a morning person, but he's the biggest morning person I've ever met. He's always really excited in the morning, playing music. I'm definitely not excited in the morning. I kind of feel bad sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm being so annoying, but I can't. I'm so tired.
You'll turn into a morning person as life progresses, I bet.
But it's amazing being his daughter.
Listen, I got Denise to be a morning person, so that was the biggest win in the world.
She's still not that big of a
Well, okay, all right. Remember, I wake up with everybody at 6 o'clock in the morning with music.
I asked this to Victoria all the time. Do you go to like dance studio and like school and stuff, and your people say like, "Hey, I know your dad. I saw your dad doing this. I saw your dad doing that."
Yeah, like lately with the day in Miami, a couple people have come up to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, your dad has a podcast."
By the way, this is Eddie's highlight of the day, by the way, okay? Well, listen, I just want to wrap it up with the fact of saying, for everybody out there that wants their girls to start a great, great career in a great dance, you got the group right here with LDDF. Reach out to them. You're going to get a 10% discount if you mention a day in Miami.
Thank you.
But anyway, no. Listen, not for anything. It's great. Educational-wise, value-wise, fundamental-wise, everything. I tell you, not because of anything, not because my daughter dances at school, but it's a deduction that when Barbie tells me, do you want to look at your credit card statement this month? I go, no, I don't want to. Milana's having a great time. That's all.
You can get a tax credit for it.
Yeah, and you have a chance to see Manny.
Yeah.
And
anyway,
practice.
Shout out to St. Brendan's or Saberettes.
Thank you.
And the stuff that you've done in that school. Shout out to my daughter's school at Lourdes as well, because she's very excited to be in that dance school. And again, thank you, Matika. Thank you, Janet. Thank you for what you guys do. And I tell you again, LDDF rocks.
Thank you, guys.